Hi, little meat. So we're carrying on with Superfudge. I'm really enjoying reading this to you. There's Peter, there's Fudge, there's Tootsie, and it's Halloween. And they're going to take, they being Peter and Alex, are going to take little Fudge trick-or-treating in the houses around where they live. Okay, here we go. We grabbed our UNICEF boxes and our pillowcases to hold our loot, and we left. We worked our way up one side of the street, then down the other. When we got close to Mrs. Mulder's house, Alex said, "Maybe she'll give us some worms for a treat." "Worms?" Fudge said. "Yeah," Alex told him. "She's very big on worms." "So is Uncle Feather," Fudge said. "Uncle Feather is a bird," I said. "Why does everyone keep saying that?" Fudge asked. "I know Uncle Feather is a bird." He was quiet for a minute, and then he said, "What does she do with her worms?" "Eats them," Alex said. "Really?" Fudge asked me. "We think so," I told him. We walked up the path to Mrs. Mulder's house, and Alex rang the bell. "If she gives us some worms, we can feed them to Uncle Feather," Fudge whispered. "Shh," I told him. Mrs. Mulder opened the door. She was just wearing a jogging suit. Well, she said. "What a cute little ghost." "I'm not cute. I'm scary," Fudge told her. "Ooh." Mrs. Mulder clutched her chest. "Oh my, you are a scary ghost." "Hi, Mrs. Mulder," Alex said. "Hello, Alex. That's an unusual costume you're wearing." "It's called Anita's Anger," Alex said. "I got the idea from a painting I saw downtown." Now, this will only make sense if you heard me read yesterday's chapter, or maybe the day before. Mrs. Mulder turned away from us and called, Beverly, come here. You've got to see this." Right away, I knew it was her. Giraffe neck. I knew before I could even see her face. I knew by the way she walked from the other room to the front door and by the curly hair. "This is my daughter, Beverly," Mrs. Mulder said to us. Then she turned to Beverly and said, "Alex is dressed as a painting. Can you guess which one?" Beverly studied Alex for a minute. "Well, with the white background, the black circles, and the red square, you must be Anita's Anger." "Right," Alex said. I thought about telling Beverly about the night Jimmy's parents had their big fight and how Mrs. Fargo had dumped red paint on Mr. Fargo's canvas and how Mr. Fargo had named his painting Anita's Anger because Anita is Jimmy's mother's name. I thought about telling her the whole story, but then I remembered how I've told Jimmy things that I wouldn't have told anyone else, and I knew that if I were Jimmy, I wouldn't want my best friend telling the world secrets about his family. "Do you really eat worms?" Fudge asked, out of nowhere. I gave him a kick, but that didn't stop him. "Peter says you eat them all the time, and he knows everything because he's naturally smart except for matching questions." Mrs. Mulder and Beverly looked at each other. Fudge continued. "So do you?" "Do we what?" Mrs. Mulder asked. "Eat worms. Did you eat worms for supper tonight?" Alex let out a groan, and I could see our business going down the drain. Mrs. Mulder smiled at Fudge. "Yes, we did," she told him. Beverly added, "Oh, there's nothing like home-baked worms, and my mother's recipe is the best." "We eat them instead of cauliflower," Mrs. Mulder said. "We need to get our vitamins one way or another." "Are your worms fortified?" Fudge asked. Alex groaned again. "Oh yeah, my worms are naturally fortified," Mrs. Mulder said. "They're chock full of vitamins. No preservatives, nothing added, just the real thing." She was beginning to sound like a commercial for worms. I could hear the announcer saying, "Buy Mrs. Mulder's naturally fortified worms. They're chock full of vitamins. Grind them up in your favorite recipe. Blend them in your milkshakes. Serve them instead of cauliflower on those special occasions. Would you like to taste my special worm cookies? Mrs. Mulder asked Fudge. Yes, Fudge said, following Mrs. Mulder into the house. We marched through the house to the kitchen, and on the kitchen counter was a big plate of cookies. Fresh out the oven, Mrs. Mulder said. They look like chocolate chip, Fudge said. Oh, they are, Mrs. Mulder told him. Chocolate chip worm cookies. Which part is the worm? Fudge asked. Mrs. Mulder laughed. Oh, you can't see the worms. I grind them up and mix them into the flour. Huh, just like my commercial, I thought. Go on, Mrs. Mulder said, offering the plate of cookies to Fudge. You can take one. Fudge chose a cookie and held it to his lips. But he hesitated, and I could see that he wasn't sure he really wanted to taste a chocolate chip worm cookie after all. Beverly took one and shoved it into her mouth all at once. Mmm, she said. These are really good, Mother. She took another and ate it quickly, too. Then she brushed the crumbs off her hands. Fudge bit into his cookie. He chewed it up very slowly. It's good, he said. You can't even taste the worms. Mrs. Mulder offered the plate to Alex and me. We each took a cookie. Fudge asked if he could have another, and Mrs. Mulder said she'd do better than that. She wrapped a little package of cookies for him to take with him. When we got home, Fudge dumped out his pillowcase on the dining room table. He arranged his loot in stacks and counted everything. 11 M&Ms, 7 Nestle Crunch, 5 Hershey bars without almonds, 3 with, 2 Milky Ways, 1 granola bar. I got 4 apples and 6 worm cookies. What did you say? Mom asked him. Oh, nothing, Mom, I told her. He didn't say anything. Did you, Fudge? Here, Mommy, Fudge said. Have a cookie. Mrs. Mulder just baked them. Thank you, Mom said. She tasted it. Very good. I wonder where she got her recipe. Oh, it's been in her family for a long time, I said. And they're naturally fortified with... I didn't give him a chance to finish. No preservatives, no additives, naturally fortified, chock full of vitamins, right, Fudge? Right, Peter, he said, smiling. And I knew that he understood. Okay, Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is actually called Superfudge, which is also the name of the book. Fudge has a friend. His name is Daniel. He's pudgy, with a lot of red hair, ears that stick out more than mine. And the first time I saw him, he was standing in front of Uncle Feather's cage, lecturing to Fudge. Myna birds are native to India and other parts of Asia. The common house myna is a bold, fearless bird, somewhat larger than a robin. Robin? Robin? Uncle Feather repeated. Shut up and listen, Fudge told Uncle Feather. Don't you want to learn about yourself? Daniel continued. The myna is a noisy, sociable bird. I'll say, I said from the doorway where I'd been listening. Daniel turned around and stared at me. Who are you? He asked. Peter, Fudge's older brother, I told him. Who are you? Daniel Menheim. I'm 6. I live at 432 Vine Street. You want to make something of it? He delivered the last sentence in a tough guy voice so that it came out sounding like, you want to make something of it? Not especially, I told him, trying not to laugh. Daniel turned back to Uncle Feather. Many myna birds learn to imitate the human voice. They can talk, sing, and whistle. The common house myna is genus Acrodithraces species, A. tritis. Daniel is a bird expert, Fudge said. So I see, I answered. You want to hear about the vulture? Daniel asked. Some other time, I told him. Daniel came for lunch on Saturday. Would you like peanut butter or tuna in your sandwich? Mom asked him. Tuna, Daniel said. You want to make something of it? No, Mom said, looking surprised at Daniel's tough guy line. Tuna fish will be just fine. Where's the TV? Daniel asked. I always watch TV while I'm eating. It's in the living room, Fudge said. You don't have a TV in the kitchen? Daniel asked. No, Mom said, we don't. I feel sorry for you, Daniel said, pushing back his chair, and he stood up. I guess I'll have my lunch in the living room. Oh, no, we don't watch TV while we're eating, Mom said, so why don't you sit down and wait until lunch is ready? Daniel pouted. I won't have much of an appetite without the TV. Well, if you're not hungry, you don't have to eat, Mom said. TV shouldn't have anything to do with it. I was thinking it wouldn't hurt the kid to skip a couple of meals anyway. I watched the Muppet Show, Sesame Street, The Electric Company, Fudge said, as if anybody cared. And I watch all the commercials. I never miss the commercials. They're my favorites. My daddy used to write commercials, but now he's writing a book. And one time I was in a commercial. I rode the toddler bike. No, you didn't, Daniel said. I did too, Fudge told him. I don't believe you, Daniel said. Mom brought the tuna fish sandwiches and 2 glasses of milk to the table. I don't eat anything with onions, Daniel said. I don't eat lima beans or peas. I only drink chocolate milk and cut the crust off my bread. There are no onions, lima beans, or peas in the tuna, Mom said. I knew from her voice she was about ready to tell Daniel exactly what he could do with his lunch if he didn't like it. But she walked back to the pantry and brought out the cocoa. You can put in as much as you like, she said, as she cut the crusts off Daniel's sandwich. There, now you should be all set. Wasn't I in a commercial, Mommy? Fudge said. Yes, Mom said. Fudge was in the toddler bike commercial. See, I told you. Did you get paid? Daniel asked. I don't know, Fudge said. Did I get paid, Mommy? I wasn't there, Fudgy, remember? I was visiting Aunt Linda and the new baby in Boston. Oh, that's right, Fudge said. So he asked me. Did I get paid, Peter? You got all the Oreos you could eat, I said. I got Oreos, Fudge told Daniel. I hate Oreos, Daniel said. Do you remember when he was in the toddler bike commercial? That was in the last book. And Fudge refused to ride the bike when the camera was filming. Anyway, that was in the last book. Okay. On the same day that Daniel was eating his tuna fish sandwich without onions, peas, lima beans, or crusts, Tootsie learned to crawl. One minute she was just rocking back and forth on all fours, and the next minute she was moving across the floor. Mom ran to get Dad and then raced upstairs for camera. And for the rest of the day we took home movies. Tootsie was the star. Only Daniel was unimpressed. All babies crawl, he said. After a week of crawling, Tootsie became an expert. She could move so fast it was hard to keep up with her. Not only that, she learned to pull herself up to a standing position. You couldn't leave anything around anymore. Whatever she found went straight into her mouth. And she found everything. From crayon to thread, Lego to Dad's notebook. She chewed up 3 pages of his notes one afternoon. It took Dad all night to try and glue them back together. Mom and Dad decided to baby-proof the house. They removed everything that Tootsie could possibly reach. Tootsie was very pleased with herself. She said, "Ooka, baffum fluffum." Turtle, my dog, learned to crawl too. He'd move across the floor, flat on his belly, and Tootsie would chase him, laughing. Turtle and Tootsie were friends. I kept the door to my room closed at all times. I wasn't taking any chances. Dad put up a gate at the top of the stairs and another at the bottom. You always had to be careful not to step on Tootsie. She was almost always underfoot. "Put her in the playpen," Fudge wailed one day after she got into his Lego and scattered them. She needs freedom to explore, Dad explained. Well, too bad if she gets in my way, Fudge said. She'll just have to learn that I'm her big brother. And Clunk, he stepped on her arm, and Tootsie screamed. Carry on tomorrow. Bye.